You know, he trained for them, so
Are we going to see any of this on the night, or are you going to play by the rules?
He trained for it, man. He should be ready.
I'm more than ready. You're terrified of me, bro.
Am I?
Can we have a handshake?
Yeah. I'm not touching him.
I don't care.
I don't want to touch
He's
him.
a little kid to me.
You are terrified
You don't
of me.
understand.
I can
In
see
prison,
it.
he'd be holding my pocket and he'd be on the bottom bunk.
No handshake.
No handshake.
For what? I don't give a about him, dude. He has some personal I don't give a about the kid.
The fight between Dillon Danis and KSI has been one of the most anticipated matchups in the influencer boxing scene. Both fighters have engaged in intense trash talk, hyping up the bout to an entirely new level. But beyond the social media antics and promotional tactics, the real question remains who has the advantage inside the ring. While KSI's confidence is undeniable, the reality is that Dillon Danis has the skills, experience, and mental edge to dominate this fight. From his background in combat sports to his ability to get under KSI's skin, Danis has every tool necessary to make this an easy victory. Let's break down why KSI is in way over his head. Dillon Danis has never been one to back down from a fight, and has made that very clear with the constant threats he's thrown at KSI. However, KSI has shown no signs of intimidation, claiming he is more than ready to face Danis in the ring. The confidence from KSI might seem impressive, but the real question is whether it's genuine or just for show. Danis, being a seasoned grappler and fighter, understands the psychological warfare of combat sports. He knows how to get under his opponent's skin, and his threats have only fueled the hype around this fight. KSI, on the other hand, has no professional combat background outside of influencer boxing, which raises doubts about whether he truly understands the level of opponent he is facing. This fight is not just about skill, but also about mental toughness, and Danis might already have the edge.
You know, he trained for them, so
Are we going to see any of this on the night, or
he trained
are you going to play by the rules?
He trained for it, man. He should be ready.
I'm more than ready.
The bad blood between KSI and Dillon Danis can be traced back to an unexpected incident at Coffee Spill in 2012. This small moment led to years of trash talk, online feuds, and heated exchanges between the two. KSI has acknowledged that this event was one of the key reasons for the intense rivalry, showing that their animosity isn't just a promotional stunt. However, holding on to a decade-old grudge could be a distraction for KSI, who seems more focused on proving a personal point rather than preparing for the actual fight. Danis, on the other hand, has continued to use this event as a way to get into KSI's head, showing his expertise in psychological manipulation. If KSI enters the ring with emotions instead of strategy, Danis will easily capitalize on it and dictate the pace of the fight.
Where did this all start? Did this start with a coffee throwing incident in 2022?
I mean, that was definitely one of the reasons that, it pissed me off.
KSI has boldly declared that he will knock Dillon Danis out in their upcoming fight. But when Danis was asked about this, he quickly dismissed the claim, saying KSI wouldn't even be able to land a clean hit on him. This response isn't just trash talk, it's a reflection of the massive skill gap between the two fighters. Danis has years of experience in combat sports, particularly in grappling and striking defense. Meanwhile, KSI's boxing record consists of influencer fights, which do not compare to the level of competition Danis has faced. If KSI relies too much on power punches while ignoring technique, he could end up missing his shots and exhausting himself early in the fight. Danis seems confident that he will control the tempo, avoid unnecessary damage, and punish KSI for every mistake he makes.
Nah, I think I'll just knock you out.
You're not gonna knock
I
me
think
out,
I'll
dude.
just knock you out. I think that'd be
bet
better.
you won't even hit me.
The pre-fight hype reached another level when KSI and Danis went head-to-head in a heated face-off. Both fighters exchanged verbal jabs, making it clear that there was no love lost between them. KSI used this opportunity to reaffirm his belief that he would knock out Danis, but this might just be part of promotional tactics rather than a realistic expectation. Danis, who has been involved in combat sports for much longer, knows how to handle trash talk and remain composed. While KSI's aggressive energy might excite fans, it doesn't necessarily translate to success in the ring. Many fighters have made bold knockout predictions, only to be exposed when a fight actually happens. If KSI focuses too much on securing a knockout instead of having a solid strategy, Danis will exploit that impatience and pick him apart.
In recent interviews, you've said you are definitely knocking out Dillon Danis.
Yep.
You stand by that?
Yes,
You said that about Tommy too.
Yeah, and
Hey,
then,
what happened?
But I put on how many pounds? like 25 pounds.
Oh my God, who cares about weight?
Yeah, okay.
And real fighters don't care about weight.
Weight is very important.
No, it's not.
I didn't do a walk-up.
I'll fight any of these guys.
I didn't do a
anyway.
walk-up for that fight.
A significant moment in the build-up to this fight was when KSI and Danis refused to shake hands during their face-off. This wasn't just a small act of disrespect, it was a statement that neither fighter was backing down. While KSI might believe this shows his confidence, it could also be a sign that Danis is already in his head. Fighters who let their emotions take control often make crucial mistakes in the ring, and Danis seemed to understand the psychological advantage. KSI might see himself as a dominant force in this rivalry, but by refusing to engage in mutual respect, he's also showing that he feels the pressure. Meanwhile, Danis, with his experience in high-pressure situations, remains unfazed. If KSI enters a fight looking for revenge, instead of focusing on his game plan, he could be walking into a disaster.
You're terrified of me, bro.
Am I?
Can we have a handshake?
Yeah. I'm not touching him.
I don't care.
I don't want to touch
He's
him.
a little kid to me.
You are terrified
You
of me.
understand?
I can
In
see
prison,
it.
he'd be holding my pocket and he'd be on the bottom bunk.
No handshake.
No handshake.
For what? I don't give a about him, dude. He has some personal. I don't give a about the kid.
Things took an even more intense turn when KSI escalated the conflict by slapping Dillon Danis in front of a live crowd. The incident almost caused an all-out brawl on stage, and while it thrilled fans, it raised serious concerns about KSI's mindset. Slapping an opponent before a fight doesn't prove dominance, it shows emotional instability. Danis, in contrast, didn't react wildly, showing that he remains in control of his emotions. In combat sports, discipline is key, and KSI's actions might indicate that he is struggling to handle the pressure. Danis has likely seen this kind of behavior before from inexperienced opponents, and he knows exactly how to exploit it. When the fight begins, if KSI lets his emotions drive his decisions instead of his training, Danis will have no trouble capitalizing on every mistake.
Bro, I'm gonna hit you so many times. It's gonna piss you off. Yeah.
I had to get you back, bro. I had to get you back. Happy Pancake Day, bitch!
The boxing world has been buzzing about the potential match between KSI and Jake Paul, and even Joe Weller has weighed in on the debate. According to Weller, Jake Paul is nothing more than an influencer fighter, but he also believes KSI doesn't have what it takes to be a real boxer. While KSI has tried to establish himself as a legitimate competitor, his performances have yet to prove that he can truly hang with professional fighters. This perspective is crucial because it raises doubts about KSI's ability to handle someone as skilled as Dillon Danis. If KSI can barely convince boxing analysts that he's on Jake Paul's level, then how can he possibly expect to stand a chance against someone with actual combat experience? The answer is simply he can't. Danis will expose KSI's flaws in a way that Jake Paul never could.
Do you consider Jake Paul to be an influencer boxer right now?
Kind of no, because he's not fighting influencers. Yeah, he's not fighting like prime boxers, but he's not fighting influencers. It's not just a circus, right? To an extent, the Tyson thing maybe was, but like, yeah, like I wouldn't class Jake Paul as just an influencer boxer. No.
The debate about KSI's boxing legitimacy extends beyond just Joe Weller. Tyson Fury, one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, has also shared his thoughts on the matter. Fury believes that Jake Paul would easily knock out KSI, stating that KSI lacks the skill and experience to hang with serious fighters. When a world champion like Fury dismisses KSI's chances, it raises serious concerns about his ability to compete at a high level. If KSI can't even convince the boxing elite that he belongs in the ring, how does he expect to handle a fighter like Dillon Danis? Danis, despite his controversies, has trained with some of the best in the business. This isn't just an influencer fight. For him, it's an opportunity to prove a point.
KSI or Jake Paul?
What, in a fight?
Yeah?
Jake Paul. All day, every day.
Why?
Just think he knocks him out cold.
Ryan Garcia, another highly respected boxer, echoed Tyson Fury's sentiments, claiming that Jake Paul would put KSI to sleep. This reinforces a narrative that KSI is simply not on the level of real fighters. While some fans may argue that KSI has improved since his earlier fights, the reality is that he has never faced an opponent with Danis' level of combat sports experience. If multiple world-class fighters believe KSI would struggle even against Jake Paul, then Dillon Danis, a far superior grappler and experienced competitor, should have no trouble dismantling him. The fight may be entertaining, but from a technical perspective, it looks like a one-sided affair in favor of Danis.
Jake Paul, KSI, who wins that fight?
As of right now, Jake Paul knocks him out.
Knocks him out cold.
Yeah, sleeps him.
He said sleeps him.
I just think he jumps in too crazy. I think he times up coming in and knocks him out cold. Like he just, he's gonna run into one.
This fight is shaping up to be one of the biggest influencer boxing events of the year. But will KSI's confidence be enough, or will Dillon Danis prove that experience always wins? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who are you backing in this fight? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest boxing news and fight breakdowns only here on Box Hub.